All right, happy Monday to everybody. This is the weekly update for my diorama. I'll show you what we got done in the last week, which hasn't been a whole lot. I will show you why here. Over here in the corner, you can see the mop bucket. We discovered that we had a leak in our basement, and it leaked right underneath one of my display cabinets. Fortunately, it wasn't much of a leak. It was only just a very small amount of water. Like, I could barely wring the mop up when I mopped it each time. But that's definitely something we got to get fixed. So I basically had to kind of tear everything apart and move stuff, and then I had to move cabinets in order to find out whether or not I was leaking behind those, because I wanted to make sure. So everything is in a mess right now. There's the shop, and it is, stuff's thrown everywhere, horrible mess. Hopefully I'll get it back together soon, the way it was. We're gonna have to lift the cabinet up a little bit, put something underneath, make sure in case if I get some water in again. Cabinet didn't really get damaged, it just got a little wet like on the bottom half inch, so we're doing all right. Let's see here. Well, I've done some work as far as figuring out layout. That's an important step to do when you're considering a larger diorama. Even a small diorama, you really want to lay stuff out, because I mean, it's one thing to do it on paper and get your design down and stuff like that, but if you're not doing it, basically full, a full lay, setup like this. I don't know what I'd call this, prototype or whatever. I mean, this is not what it's going to look like. Right here is the. I'm just kind of playing around with placement. This is where the drive-in restaurant's going to be. I just kind of approximated what the building its footprint would be. This isn't what the building's going to look like. I got some different ideas in my head, but I do design things in my head mostly, and then once I get things down in my head and I start to work on my diorama in the physical sense, then you gotta lay it out. This shows how much room you have between objects in the street, and it gives you a whole different perspective. If you just start building without really knowing exactly how it's going to fit on your layout, you could end up building something that's either too large or too small, to where it just doesn't fit right. This was the lot that I had. As far as space goes on this, because this road over here is going to go on to a new section eventually that's going to be built behind here, but that's going to be in the future. But I got the road down for now. Let's move on to the main event over here. I got the design drawn out. I know it might be kind of hard to see here. I drew it in pencil. This is a car wash. We got the different, the rinse, the soaker, the brushes, the final rinse. This is where the area is going to be where they dry the cars, they pull them out. This is where the sign's going to be. I already have the signage. And one thing I discovered about once I laid this out is I thought the car wash was going to take up more space than it did, which I'm happy it's not taking up as much space, because that'll give me more space for this, which is going to be a junkyard. Basically, it's going to be a parts dealer / speed shop, hot rod shop / salvage yard. I'm going to use this building, which is a building that I built. I was going to sell it. At the time I needed the money, and so I built the building to put up for sale, and nobody bid on it. Nobody wanted it, so I'm keeping it. It's an awesome building. It's highly quality build there, and I think it's going to work out great. We're going to put a fence up. There's going to be a gate over here. There's going to be a gate over here. You kind of see, I don't know if you can see the pencil marks. We're going to have a low line of trees over here. There's going to be a back fence along the back of the diorama there. And then this area here is going to be where we have the cars. And then moving down here, we have the drive-in theater. And I have it drawn out. Again, it's probably going to be kind of hard for you to see on the video. This is where we're putting the sign. This is where the screen is going. And I'm building the screen so that you can put an iPad in it, so the screen will work and be able to show movies. In front, I'm going to put a stage, because I kind of have an idea. I'd like to do kind of like a Woodstock hippie event, because my diorama does take place mostly in the 60s, even though I can go basically from the 1950s to the 1980s with it as far as the architecture and everything. Back here is going to be this concession stand, hole for the electrics. So this is going to be a pretty big space. It's about 3.5 by 3.5, give or take. Yeah, where the roads are going to be, entrance road. I'm going to cut this out here and bevel this, so this will be, you know, a nice transfer from one level to the other. Same with over here. Now that I'm at this point, this is the point where I guess you could say the fun begins. Before it was all carpentry, and now we're actually going to get more into the artistic part of it. I'm going to start by cutting out the roadways, beveling that. Then once I get that done and I get the curb dressed the way I want it, I will mount this down. I will probably end up wood gluing it. I might put a few nails to hold it down, make sure it doesn't pop up at all. And at that point, I can start the electrics. But before, what I'll do then is I'll decide where I'm going to put my street lights and mark the holes. And once I get that taken care of, I'll paint the curb areas, paint the center strip here. This is going to be a raised up area, so that's kind of a median strip. The roadway is going to go here, and then we'll put the street lights in. So at that point, we'll be lit, and I can start building the rest of it. I have most of the materials. I have some of the signage that I'll need. So we're ready to rock and roll on this. Just that it's getting to the point now in the springtime where I got to go outside, start doing work on the outside of my house, get all the gardening and stuff out of the way. So the videos, I'll try to keep knocking them out once a week, just to let you guys know where we're going with things. Just kind of wandering around here. I got to start learning how to edit so I can cut, paste, do all that stuff, make this a little easier watch for you guys. But over here, we're doing some casting. I've been doing casting for a while, and I find that it's a great way to come up with detail pieces in mass, especially when you need like a bunch of barrels or whatever. The prices of individual parts, detail parts, it can be pretty expensive depending on where you get them. Now that there's a lot more 3D guys out there, a lot of 3D printer guys, we're going to cover this in another installment of the video. We're going to get more into casting in depth. I'll explain how I do a mold. I'll show you. We'll do a video on how to do the mold and how to do the casting. But here's some of the things that I'm casting right now. These little guys here are Anco wiper display boxes. I'm having custom decals made for these, and these will be available when I start selling again. Along with these are Tokheim Tokheim gas pumps from the 60s and 70s. I had them made to scale. I have a guy that does 3D printing for me, and he made the masters for them. I have another person right now that's making decals for me, and once we get all that done, I'll be able to do a little more detailed gas pumps than the green light pumps that I have on there right now. And these will really bring my diorama more into the era that I want it to. Then I also will be eventually selling these pumps too. So if people are interested in those, when I get them ready to sell, I'll do a video and show you all what they look like. But basically, this is kind of where I'm doing the casting. It's a little sloppy, but casting can be sloppy. What's on the bench right now? Well, let's see. Chaos is on the bench, pretty much. I just got some stuff thrown on there. Was kind of whittling away at that trailer. That's another project that I'm doing. I tend to work on a dozen things at one time because, you know, it just, you get to a point at one spot and you might have to wait for something to dry. You might have to wait for parts, what have you. Horrible mess, I know, I apologize. Hopefully it'll look better next time. All right, so that's what we got for the week now. We'll be posting again next week. Stay tuned, like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Share the videos online. If you got any comments, you got any questions, I'm always up for answering questions. I do enjoy reading the comments. I love questions though, even more than comments. I mean, I love to hear, hey, what a great diorama or whatever. I do love hearing that, and I do appreciate it. I really love somebody asking me, how did you do that? You know, or how can I do that? You know, I'm more than happy to share what dubious knowledge I have of this subject. So we'll see you guys next time.